You hear that sound? You know what that means. It's time to wake up and tune in to Two Men in the AM with Dustin Staples and Luis Romero.
Good morning. It's 10 in the morning on this Friday. We thank you so much for coming and joining us and being here with us. We have another great show lined up for you. Of course, things are different. We'll talk about that in just a second. Introductions. Again, good morning to you. Dustin, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's a good week. We were able to have a new look to us, and I think this is a stationary look for now. So we're looking forward to doing something different, as we always do. Our 15th episode, so we are 15 in. When we make 15 more, we shall see.
We shall see. And Dustin, I think it's exciting to be able to have these new changes coming in. Of course, the microphones, these are the famous microphones that you see with the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it took forever for us to be able to kind of get it.
Finally, took us time.
We had one, but it would be odd to just have one of the microphones and someone else not have one.
So. You just spin it around like a roulette table.
Just go back and forth. But these are sensitive microphones, so you try not to touch them, because if not, even just scraping the little thing, will make a sound. I know that I did that on accident one time when we were recording. But
well, ASMR folks will love it then.
Yes.
There you go.
And it's actually a lot better now, because you can actually hear us. Instead of having a microphone that's being shared, you can actually hear us better. And people can hear it like a podcast should be able to be heard.
They should.
And so these are some great microphones that we have been waiting to get here. And logistics, we have to wait to get it. We got our logo on the back, so everything's coming up, and hopefully we can keep this for a while. But of course, things are always changing. Our lives are always changing, and a lot of things going on behind the scenes that that we will be sharing with you all later on.
Indeed. So stay tuned, as they say in the news world. But we've had a good week so far. The weather's been very warm. We had more of that smoke again from Canada.
Yeah, we did.
So that Canadian smoke is never going to leave us. It looks like they said it may last probably for several years to come.
Wow.
Because the Canada fires, I know we're getting a little technical, and Shania, I know she's taking brownie porch of this, but they said it's been over like 20 hectares of land, which is equivalent to like 200 acres, and they've been burned in Canada since this all began earlier this year. So just get used to it. I know a lot of people with sensitive respiratory illnesses, they can't be outside because it hurts them.
Yeah.
So
you definitely have to be on the lookout. And I found it crazy that something that happened all the way in Canada that we would be able to have effects for here, and that it travels through the air that much. But again, that's science. That's for you.
The jet stream and the wind pattern changes every week. So not every week we're going to get haze. Maybe next week if there's a possibility of more, then maybe we'll get a break, vice versa. So
and we're supposed to get a lot hotter.
It's looking like it too.
That's what Shania told me.
She did.
We have a conversation as we work together, and she was telling me about that, and I was like, I gotta make sure. But thankfully, my everything at home's been going well. So every time I go home, it's nice and cool.
Well, let's hope you keep it that way. The AC is always appreciative.
Yes, it is. But then the thing is that, of course, experts recommend you to bring them down to a certain degree.
85 at night is the suggested.
Yeah.
I mean, are you I'm not a reptile. I can't do that.
No,
I'm
I don't
sorry.
think. Yeah, and I don't know what. Yeah, I think during the day it's supposed to be
it's like 82, 81, something right around there.
And 85 at night. I don't think no one in their right mind does that unless you just have some type of illness.
I'll just go sleep in
no blood in your body.
No blood in your body. I'll go sleep in an aquarium if I have to down at the zoo if it's necessary.
That is insane. And again, every time that comes up, people always make nice little jokes about that. But that is crazy. I keep mine in the winter and the summer at 70.
Okay.
So throughout the year,
70. We keep ours at night. My sister keeps hers on like 72 during the summer, and then about 70 during the winter. I mean, it kind of keeps it a little heating, stuff like that. But, at this point, our house gets so cold, we have to literally turn the AC up because it pumps out good air. But it's like 74, 75. I'm like, all right, this is getting a little too cold. But hey, she's got a good AC system as it is. But anyway, so I know a lot of people vary. And if they don't have AC, you use the iconic window units or the fan if you're like me.
Yeah.
So it's
crazy because in El Salvador, there was no AC unit when I was growing up.
Oh, wow.
You just had those big, tall fans that everyone remembers growing up.
Yep.
Didn't have an AC, and now I can't live without it. So, again, I keep it turned that. And the bill, believe it or not, at least that I know of, it's not. It's actually cheaper than everyone that I talk to that kind of lives near that area.
Gotcha.
Mine is, but I'm not in and out of the house all the time, so I guess because the temperature sets. I don't have to keep putting it up, and I don't change it. I keep it at 70. If I just get cold, I'll put another blanket.
Yeah, that's what most people tell me. Yep.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't change it. I've been told that helps with making sure that it's not going off and on and charging you. I think one of the biggest things is, I think that I heard, is that if you turn it off and on, of course that's using more energy, so you wouldn't want to do that. But again, 70, and then in a car, I keep it all the way to 60 because it's a car. So a car is never going to reach that temperature that you set it to.
Right.
Because you're always moving.
Right.
Out.
My dial switches on my car. I don't have the digital touch tone, so I've got that.
Okay.
So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I keep it normally between 1 and 2 because it pumps. It gets really cold quick in the car. So my antifreeze and everything pumps out really good. Now if you put it on 4, it's just going to blast you. You feel like you've got your hair blowing in the wind, literally.
The only time it's got to be below 50 for me to turn my AC off. I mean, well, not. I mean, at least in the
to put
winter.
your heat on.
Yeah. I'll say 65-ish maybe. But my cool air, everyone that gets in my car knows that it's an ice box in there.
I can attest to that. Yes, that is definitely true. So,
and I don't do the auto setting. I just kind of vary on how much I want pumping out, but it's always cool air coming out. The heated seats, I almost never use them. The only time I use them really is whenever I go to the pool and I'm still a little wet and I'm going home and I want
cool off a little bit.
Well,
dry off.
Yeah, dry off. But other than that, I've been enjoying the summer. Now I still have not gone to the beach, and I still don't know if I'm going to go to the beach. I highly doubt that. But I've been enjoying being able to go to friends' houses and go to their pools and kind of enjoy that. And again, it hasn't been too hot. This last Sunday was the water was actually warm because it was so hot.
Right. So I actually had a week or two ago. I had a chance to go to Smith Mountain Lake for the first time.
Oh. And
with my family, we had to get together because.
Wait, that was 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago.
Because people don't know. Well, people now know
right.
that we that was so busy that we weren't able to air the episode that was supposed to air.
Right.
Originally last week we had to air the one that we were talking about 4th of July. So So just bear with us.
Yeah, we're catching up on that. So about 2 weeks ago, Smith Mountain Lake up there in Manita. Had a chance to go up there, and the temperature was like 93, and the water temperature was 84. So you're like basically getting in bath water.
Yeah.
I got in the water for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I said, I can't. This is like taking my own bath. I cannot do that kind of thing. So I did that. I got a little tan, but the weird thing about my tan on my arm, it was like this much, and the rest of it was burnt. And so I don't know how that even happened. I applied sunscreen, as the weather guy myself.
Right.
I should learn to take my own advice, but, live what you learn, take the mistake you learn from to live with it. So, but on that note, and then after that, we had a chance. Listen,
okay, I think you were trying to say, do what you preach.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Because you preach all the time, put on sunscreen. And because of that, believe it or not, I've been putting some on.
Good.
Because I have a good tan already. I don't need one, but it's also good again to prevent those skin cancers.
Right, and that runs in my family, so I have to be very careful with that too. So that's something else. I'm always down for a nice tan, but it's like, the effects is going to hit me later. So I got to take my own advice and do it.
Because I think as being young, we kind of think. Wow, I can't speak either. We take things for granted that we know that later on we're going to have to, reap the benefits of.
Indeed.
And it might be good benefits or bad benefits.
I've
said all that, and I kind of always talk about, right now I enjoy eating whatever I want to, but I know that later that's gonna kick.
Indeed it is.
So you have to kind of make sure that you still do everything in moderation, that you take care of yourself, take care of your body all the time. That's why, whenever I get to, I'm like, I don't want to take boots out because it's very warm out.
Yeah, indeed.
But I'm like, but he needs to exercise. I need to exercise. We need to get out. And one of the things is I never clip his nails.
Okay.
Because we go out. Since I bought the house, it's been a little different because now I can let him loose and he'll go out and come back himself. But I try not to do that just because I am, a little cautious about or afraid that he might get hit by a car, especially if it's a busy street. But because he goes out every day, he
clips his own nails.
Yeah, pretty much. The vet told me because he's out, and again he is on the asphalt.
Okay.
The going back and forth
yeah.
motion.
Okay.
Not clips them, but I guess just files them. I guess would be the best.
Files his own nails.
So I've never had to clip his nails.
Interesting.
So that's kind of good that it takes care of that.
Do you ever shave his hair, like get him to the vet? You ever no?
So here's the reason why, and I actually went. I took him once to the groomer, and I won't say, what groomer I took him to, but they didn't really, I don't know if the person was new or anything like that. They didn't really do a good job.
Gotcha.
Because Boots, actually, and I'll put a photo up. Boots, as you can see, is obviously a black dog.
Right.
Or tricolor, but he's got that patch on his chest, I would say.
Okay.
That is white.
Okay.
And you can tell if he's had a bath or not, or a shower or not, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
If that's white. So I took him to the groomers, and I wanted to see if how well of a job they were going to do.
Yeah.
And so I took him, and that was still not as dirty as when I took him, but it was still kind of like brownish. So I knew then, and I could smell him and touch him, that he wasn't as clean as what my mother would do. So my mother, of course, would bathe him at the house.
Okay.
When I lived with her, and so.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
The reason why he doesn't get a haircut is because I think the groomer or the vet, one of them two, told me that, I think it was the groomer. She told me that he's got 2 layers of fur, one for summer, one for winter.
All right.
And if you shave him, basically, he won't be able to grow back that second layer.
Interesting.
So it would be really bad for him. So right now in the summer, every day I have to sweep. I like to do the vacuum, but because it's so big clunks of hair.
And it's so
fur,
thick too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to sweep every single day I go home because the house is filled with the fur.
Oh, I'd imagine you have a nice lint roller bill too on top of that. All the lint rollers you got to go through.
Right. So my mom's the one that bathes my dogs. Still,
okay.
So.
Oh, there you go.
She's in El Salvador right now, enjoying that, which I'm jealous.
Okay.
So right now he hasn't had one in a while.
So he'll be due for one when she comes back.
Yes.
Okay.
And whenever he gets one, a lot of the fur gets washed off.
I see.
And because he hasn't had one in a while, it's piling up. But I appreciate my mother for doing that because, again, she's very thorough, gets them right all the time. But we talked about, of course, getting a dog clean. So let's talk about getting our clothes clean as well. And I saw this meme, and I'll put it right here, and I'll try to put it on the screen as well. But you can see right there, I'll read it for you. Having an empty laundry basket is the best 5 seconds of the week.
That is true. I love doing laundry. I'm probably the very few people that enjoy doing laundry.
It?
I just like the satisfaction of putting it in there, folding the clothes in a way, putting them back in the basket and drawers, and assorting them. So I do my laundry at least once a week.
Right, because that's the best 5
seconds of the week, right? Beforehand at where I was at Radford, sometimes I went 2 weeks without doing my laundry, not because I was didn't want to. Time just got away so quickly.
Yeah.
And at that time, my wardrobe would take up 3 closet spaces, but now I've shrunk my wardrobe down a lot now. I don't have a lot of the same repetitive clothes over again. So that's just kind of how I do it. I don't know, just something about folding them and putting them up. It's like you wake up, or if you're going to bed that evening, you've already got a nice pair of warm pajamas ready, go into bed and do that.
I can see that.
And you wake up the next morning, it's fresh lint or whatever detergent you use.
I wouldn't say that I look forward to the laundry. I wouldn't say that I like doing laundry either. But yes, I'm on the same boat as you that normally I would do once a week, but sometimes I do let it get 2 weeks, and I always dread doing the 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, not going to do that this week, but this past week, and when I saw this, that's why it was funny, is because you always have the conspiracy theories of the government's watching you because you'll say something, think something, or see something, and then it'll pop up in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed or TikTok feed of what you were thinking about, and you're like, that's a bit scary.
Indeed.
But anyways, it took me a long time to do laundry this past week, and when I got it done,
This
of
popped
course,
up.
got in the shower after laundry, put the dirty clothes in the basket, and I was like, yeah, that truly was literally 5 seconds of clean clothes.
Right. Yeah,
So-
everybody's got their ways of doing it. And, if you're like you and me, we go to the dry cleaners too, once in a while. So you got that perk to doing that. But it's,
I like that. I don't mind that because it's a drop off and a pickup. But I do dry cleaning once a week. I'll take everything that I've worn, and take it to the dry cleaners. Of course, if it's a suit, but a shirt like this, I won't need to. But take it to the dry cleaner, pick it up the next day.
Yeah, I actually got to pick up some dry cleaning this morning after the show, so I got to go pick some up. So I'm ready to go get that done. But yeah, that's the perk of me not having to do that laundry. But anyway,
It's expensive though if you do multiple.
if you get the deals through the week though, depending on where you go.
I try to do the deal, but I know that the only time I get the deal is if I do pants, the dress pants.
Right.
They count that as 5 items.
Right,
You get
same.
that
That's
for
what I
like
did.
25
Yeah,
or
right.
less.
That's what I did.
But if you do an actual suit jacket and then you do the tie, you do the shirt, that suit jacket doesn't count as a one item.
It does
I don't
not,
know what
no.
it counts as.
I don't know either.
Because I know that every time I've taken a suit jacket, I don't get that discount. But
Yeah, neither have I.
It is a lot that you have to spend if you do a lot of the clothing. So I try not to get it, and I also try to buy, which now things have changed. I try to buy clothes that's called everyday wear.
Okay.
And so that you can actually put it in the washer.
Right.
And you don't have to take it's still dress clothes,
Right.
but you don't have to take it to the dry cleaner. So that's the thing. But I thought that was pretty funny, and I know that a lot of people that are listening or watching will be able to relate to
Maybe
that.
they're washing clothes right now. Are you washing clothes?
Yes, you could. You really could
Get up and get the laundry done. Kids are at home. Parents at work. Get the laundry done.
Yeah, or put the kids to do the laundry.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I don't know. People are picky about how you wash clothes.
Yes,
You got to wash your whites or you wash it together. I don't know.
When I lived with my siblings and I lived with them at home, I know that one of my sisters would actually do my brother's laundry, and she would get like $5-10 for doing laundry. And I never let anybody do my laundry because I'm particular about how I do it. And my mother always taught me separate the colors, do your whites and my whites.
There you go.
Because I wear a lot of white shirts. People probably think that I wear the same white clothes. I have a lot of white shirts.
Right.
And so I put all of those in, and what I do is, and someone can tell me if this is bad or not, of course, but I put it in, and we'll put the water, we'll put the detergent, put the bleach in there, put the clothes in there, and let it sit sometimes for 24 hours in the bleach.
Okay.
So, and then the next day I'll close the lid, and I'll wash, and then I'll dry it. So
I don't know.
I don't think that's bad, but I like the smell of bleach on my white clothes.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not a bleach fanatic, but
Okay.
but yeah, it does wonders though.
And I think that's what makes my white shirts that, again, I've gone through for at least a year now, still stay white because you use that. But one thing that I saw online as well, and I know we're talking a lot about laundry. I didn't think we were going to talk that much about laundry. But one thing that I did see is that putting a fabric softener.
I've never used that.
He's never used it. I used to use it, and what I saw online is that it actually, what I understood, and I could be completely wrong, so don't quote me on this, guys. And you could probably, put the podcast in one ear and then go to, Google and look at all this information. But what I found out is that that smell or that liquid is just like a wax on your clothes.
Didn't know that.
It's not really any benefit to it. It's just putting a wax on your clothes, and so your clothes will be better if you don't use any of that fabric softener or whatever. Some people use it. They say it makes my clothes smell better.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
But I've been always since I learned this, only using the detergent to wash it, right?
Right.
And I still think my clothes smell just as good. Like they smell the same. I've never thought, okay, this doesn't smell clean.
Okay. And then dryer sheets. I always forget. They say during the summer, not really, but during the winter, there's something about that. My grandmother uses this all the time when she does laundry. She sticks a dryer sheet or two in the wintertime. I don't know the exact philosophy behind that, but I guess the static electricity, I think that's what it is.
It might help with that.
Well, that's what it helps with, stuff like that.
We could be wrong. We could be completely wrong about all the laundry.
I don't know. Yeah, we could be too fabricated.
But the thing is that with laundry, everyone does it different. So everyone has a different method to doing it.
Right.
But I think that, at least from you guys, what you guys have learned is that we take off their mother or grandmother and what they've taught us to do. And that's just kind of what I've gone with. And again, with seeing new things, but I believe my mother still uses detergent. Not detergent.
Bleach?
Softener.
Softener, okay.
And so that's one thing that I found, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And you're going to save a lot of money because that stuff is expensive.
Oh, I trust me.
So I know that I've, having to replace that big old thing of, is it Gain, I think? At least my brand is Gain. Okay. And having to replace that box of detergent all the time, it can get costly. So
I'm sure.
Having to add another $20, $25, I don't know how much softener is anymore because I don't buy it.
I don't either.
Having to buy that would add up to the bill too.
Oh, I'm sure. On top of that, you got your other stuff you got to pay for. But yeah, I don't know. It's finicky.
Any topics you got, Dustin? Because I only had the laundry topic, but anything in particular that you wanted to talk about before we start to wrap up?
I don't know. I mean, wrapping up the month of July, school's back in session for a pretty few weeks, so kids get ready to be educated again. The teachers don't like that S word, school. They don't like that, not right now. But I know some schools they're already going back to school next week to get ready for the classroom.
Teachers.
Just the teachers, not the students. Students are getting ready to get. Teachers are getting ready to get back to go to their last week's full week of July. So you got about 2 weeks. So I know the area schools start about the 6th to the 16th somewhere right around here. So you got a couple more weeks, students, but I've seen a lot of those back to school deals already happening, and I believe, if I actually heard this right, the state of Virginia, I believe this year is not doing the sale of tax-free holiday.
Well, I think,
or maybe something.
No, you're right. Yeah. What I was going to say is when I said I believe that it's not going to be happening anymore.
Oh, okay.
I believe there was a new bill that was signed or something.
I think so.
You would think that the news person would know that, but I can't 100% remember off the top of my head, but I believe that it's a bill that says that it will not happen anymore. But of course, if new legislators, new people come in,
initiate it again,
they could, like you said, start it over again. But right now, and I know that that's going to affect a lot of people because school supplies are very expensive.
Oh, yes.
One thing that I actually learned, and I think at least when I was going to elementary school, middle school, we would buy everything. My mother would buy everything off the list, like every single little thing. We would be like, oh, no, it's not here. We got to go down to that aisle. The tissues are over here. They want notebook number 4, but it's actually, it needs to have a unicorn on the back that says probably made in the USA.
Right. I remember those days.
And go find it. And and now when we got to the high school, and then when we got to high school, not now, when we got to high school, we were like, we didn't even use that. And I knew that, I would buy at least the first year everything that the list said. And then I would have stuff left over that I would just use the next year.
Yep.
And then when you got into high school, you could drive. So if your teacher said, okay, you need this, you would just go the next day
and get it. Right.
Everyone, I know all the mothers dreaded that of, you got a school project? When does it due? It's due tomorrow.
What? Yeah.
Get in the car now.
We're going to get this done.
I can't believe you waited again.
They do that. No, but yeah.
Flashbacks for a couple of people.
Not me, thank goodness.
No, I don't think I did that.
I don't think I did either. But always carried a Trapper Keeper. Everywhere I went through middle high school, I did a Trapper Keeper. And then maybe I think I brought a book bag. But other than that, you could fit everything. You got your notebook, your pencils, your paper, a ruler, protractor, and of course, if they said bring your laptop, I could stick the laptop in there if you needed it too. So those are the good days. But guess what? We don't have to worry about that anymore unless we have kids in the distant future. But other than that, we are done with school. I'm officially done with school. Let's put it at that.
Well,
maybe. We'll see.
You've always said, that you don't know if you want to expand on that, and depending on where life takes you, at least you've said that,
I'm done with K-12 school. Let's put it as that.
Right. Yeah. We both are. Yeah. But I mean, you said that, depending on how things work out, you may want to go back and get a certain degree on something else, or expand your education.
Well, the sooner the better, because if you wait a couple of years, you're going to forget how to have a college mentality mindset.
But I think for you, in your instance, you kind of want to wait a little bit because you want to see, as you start new adventures, new journeys, new jobs, you want to see if, okay, do I need that, or is this where really what I want to do, or do I want to go into a different thing? But again, folks, announcements coming in within the next coming weeks, and we're excited about that. Different things going on in our personal lives, but we're glad that you're part of it. And again, always thank you so much for taking the time to keep us some company on this Friday morning, and we hope that you were able to get a laugh. Maybe I had someone give me some feedback this past week, and they said that they always get a good laugh. So
all right, that's good to hear, and we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week.